Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mr. Basic Live. Mr. Basic here. Now, we have a lot to talk about, but first up, what I want to do is talk about some things that are coming up. Kickstarters are one of those things you got to be careful with. But that being said, there's a couple Kickstarters that have only part of the month left to go. That I think some people might be interested in. And I'm not using OBS or anything, so I'm going to do this like the really hard way. But here's the deal: is I'm going to show you on my other screen that I'm projecting to. I figured out I could do it that way, right? Well, we'll see if we can do it that way. And I'll show you what the family tool looks like. This is called the family tool, and it's this thing that goes next to the DFAM or the Mother 32 or subharmonicon or whatever, and hooks onto it even, makes it a little bit longer, has the wooden sides, is a case of its own, and it has all sorts of things that are supposed to be a companion to that or to any Eurorack or anything like that. And it's really interesting. And I'll show you guys a picture of it right here. Hold on. See if so that's it right there, the family tool. I hope you can see that. If not, we won't be on it for too much longer. But yeah, so it kind of looks like a little version of one of those Moog units. And it fits right alongside, and you can put other modules in it, in the case, instead of that, if you'd like as well. And they show examples of that in the video. So if you want to go to the Kickstarter, you can see more about that. They have videos that show all sorts of things and explain all the things that it can do. Here on the poster, you might not be able to see it very well, but it says it's a passive mult 1 to 4, or two of them that are 1 to 2, and fits Eurorack modules up to 20 HP, and it attenuates all the signals, and it has AB switches or logic, or you can use them. Use the whole thing as 2 logic mixers, like a Boolean logic sort of thing, and 24 ins and outs. So I guess, 24 I/O total. So it looks kind of interesting. I'm not quite sure what all the things that you could do with it are, or exactly how they'd work. But listening to it, it sounds like it can do some pretty interesting things. So that's the first one. And the second one I'll show you here is, shoot, I have to do this backwards and upside down. Glow. This is Glow, the polyphonic whale. And it's by the same, people who collaborated with the Gecko loop synth and all that stuff to make that. So yeah, if I don't win one of those, I'm gonna go ahead and I think I don't know about the polyphonic whale. I hope the Kickstarter goes through, because I'll want to have one of those later on at some point. But I'm not one of those that's going to actually risk it for it. Although I'm sure it's gonna just totally win out, because it was on featured on Sonic State and everything. So anyway, so what the heck? What the heck? What? Oh my goodness. Really? Okay, I'm not gonna try that again. I am still here. I am still here. Good. Cool. I cannot recommend any iOS apps because I do not do iOS. Hold on. In fact, I can't really recommend any apps at all except for the V Collection by Arturia. That's what I've gotten so far in terms of software having to do with music making. Other than that, I'm not probably going to ever be the guy to ask about that, but I do hear about things from time to time, but nothing recently. Yeah. So anyway, those are the. I hope that all worked out. Those are the Kickstarters that that are pretty cool looking. Look like they're doing a lot better than the last one that we won't talk about. Well, that we will talk about, Tsunami, that didn't go through, and I was really sad about that. Yeah, but we won't. We don't need to talk about that. So yeah, iPad and OPZ. Yeah. I said OPZ and not OPZ. Why did I do that? I guess I'm uh I'm I'm one of them or something. Okay. Um yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. The family tool is really really interesting, and yeah, I want to learn more about it. Is it worth it? Actually, depending on what you want to do, it's probably really close to worth it. I hope I'm not too loud or too soft. But anyway, yeah. So that's those. Get those out of the way. I was gonna show those at the end, uh, but I decided to kick that off first because that's kind of like news. Just like just today was leaked, the uh, the Korg Minilogue XD, um, which looks a lot like the original Minilogue and has a few improvements, and is a different color, and it looks darker, like it's black, but it might come in all the colors, just like the monologue. Who knows? So that looks really interesting. One reason I think that that's nice is because the prologue, I think it seemed it was like a little bit too little for too much. Um, I never understood. I don't understand why. You know, the the mini log with its four voices. Adding four more voices to that and just going basically with that structure would have been the way to go for me, I thought. But but the prologue went a different route, and it didn't seem like worth the price to a lot of people, and including myself. I was kind of like scratching my head about that. It's like, it's like you're including these things and not including these things, and it's like, oh, it's very personalized, kind of like a lot of other Korg products. Everything is very unique, a unique approach. Uh, yeah, just like everybody else, actually. But yeah, what was that? That was just that was an add-on. So what was I going to talk about? What I wanted to talk about mainly first was Jamuary, because I want everybody to participate in Jamuary at least a little bit. I mean, you don't have to do a video, a jam a day, but just jam as much as you can, sort of thing would be great. And post it, and we can all share it with each other, just like last time. It really impacted me last January, and I think helped catapult me a lot to do more and to be less of a watcher and learner and more of a doer and actor. Um, as a, um, I guess, as a daily discipline, um, to put more action in there in terms of music, kind of just like makes you do it. But see, this year, I never had any plan day to day for anything like what I'd use or how I'd do things. So everything was just kind of different. But this year, I kind of have a plan, and I'm going to show you something. The thing is, I want to do jam on the circuit every day, at least for the first half of the month. And awesome, awesome. You're about to record day one, yeah. All right, yeah. I'm in a different time zone, but yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for tomorrow for that myself. Because here, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a little preview. But the thing is, okay, there's this the circuit pack called the Team Novation circuit pack, and it was made by Team Novation. Four guys were uh, did their own basically quarter of it. Um, and Chris Calcutt and Enrique, who I'm big fans of, have their parts on it, but I'm not sure which ones they are because there's no information about it online. Like, if anybody can let me know. Awesome, Lloyd Robenflex. Yeah, it's really nice. Nice to see you in here. By the way, yeah, you're awesome. I love your videos. I love the fact that you jam. You know, you jam on a daily basis. It shows, and that's kind of like one of those things. It's like, man, it kicked me in the butt. So yeah, you've been an inspiration to me. For sure. But yeah, so the Team Novation circuit pack, I wanted to try out, right? But I can't find any information on it. So it's like, all right, I'll sit down and make my own. So I did. I got out my graph paper here, and I'll show you. And so basically, I went through the samples and decided, okay, what are all the samples? Are they all in some kind of order or not, or all just scattered about? And what I found is that yes, they were all just scattered about like this. See, kicks, I did a little color coding here. Kicks are in different places. Claps and hats in the yellow. I mean, claps and hats, yeah, in the yellow are in different places. Nothing is in really like a set spot. And then some things I had to just name because they're unique. And then same thing for both the synth parts. I had to just guess. It's like, what sound is that? What sound is that? What sound is that? And so I named them myself. The pads and bees, bzz, things like that. An arcade, uh, telephone. That one just sounds like telephone. So so basically sat down and did that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that as a guide to make my templates every day. And I'll make a template and put it in a slot for each of the days of the month. This will be the first one here. And what I made for my first template, I already made it up. And that's what I'll do pre-recording, pre-making a video. I'll make this template and then put it into the circuit. And this first one is D minor with the clean bass for one of the synths. For the second synth, electric piano. Then for the four samples, an 808 sort of kick, and then a kick slash snare for the other sound to put on 5 and 13, and a closed hi-hat, and a rim, which is a more open hi-hat or a more open cymbal. So closed cymbal, open cymbal. Really, the most basic I can think of. Really nice clean bass, like natural bass, acoustic bass sound, and an electric piano sound. So we'll see where it goes for January 1st, and I'll just pick different sounds and maybe different keys or whatever for each day and go from there. I'm having an issue with my DFAM, so I think I might have to open it up because I'm not getting audio out of it. Everything seems to work, and I get audio out of each of the VCOs, but not out of the audio out. And I actually do, but it's like really, really, it's super faint when I have it all the way up. I can barely hear that it actually is there. Not cool. It was a used unit, but it was working fine when I got it. anyway, yeah. So what are we on to now? Okay, so yeah. So if anybody can tell me where like I might be able to find, because I couldn't find it in any Novation stuff, like who did which of the patches and patterns, because there's sets of 4. You know, there's these 4. That's by one person. By the next person, because it's a different color. See, I remember somebody in a video explaining it at some point, but I don't remember who it was, and I can't find it on any of Enrique Martinez's videos.
Look at that.
Anyway, so, but these are the sounds that I chose for January 1st. So for my template to do for there, and that would be the bass. Well, it actually only works for this. And then the electric piano. Cool. Hey, that was cool. Oh well. and then so the drum sounds. Okay, so yeah, pretty much that. So that's that. But yeah, I would really like to know, because I've always been a big fan of Enrique. He's my man. If he can't do it, nobody can, on the mono station and stuff like that. Well, you know, he was supposed to, but that's a different story. More people need to do stuff with the mono station, by the way. But also Chris Calcutt, so many of his jams I've really enjoyed, and I'd like to know which ones of those on there are his. Maybe it was him that was talking about it at some point in an interview or something like that. So yeah, all that stuff sounds nice. It sounds so nice. Like, I thought the factory stuff sounded nice, but and Bo's stuff sounds really nice too. But it's like it totally sounds like it's got Bo's character. It's got a totally unique character, and like all this stuff here is like really like banging stuff. So it's done by 4 different people, which is kind of cool. It's got some variety. And it's got like it's got hits. Well, it's got vocal samples too that are really cheesy, just kind of like you've always had in the Yamaha workstations and stuff. Yeah. Hey. Wow. Okay. They're not that bad, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, so enough about that. So basically, as far as the last year in synthesizers goes, there's been a lot of talking about everything. But I kind of want to just put in my 2 cents on stuff that's come out this year. Yeah. But first of all, I might have somebody else on here. DB Cisco. Good to have you in here. Happy New Year. Is it the new year yet for you guys? It's only like 1 o'clock in the afternoon here, or something like that. What is it? 2. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon of New Year's Eve. Yeah. And so Once Upon a Synth is really cool. Yeah. He's been doing so much recently and really upped his quality, and he is really doing great. I always just thought he was amazing, and I would comment on his videos, and he would always comment back. When he was doing just top down stuff with picnic table, sort of tablecloth, red and white, that sort of thing. But anyway, wasn't too long ago. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's dark there already. It's kind of dark here, but that's because it's just crazy weather. But yeah, so basically this year started out with actually the December before this last year with the DFAM being um, uh, talked about. It was December. It was before NAM that that got either released or shown to us, and so I got really excited about that. And since then, so while I was watching everything in NAM, like, oh man, there's a lot of really good stuff. But that time, I was thinking, well, there's the DFAM though, and they were off in their own other building across the street in their house. They made a house that was a cactus house for Moogs, um, and it was great. But no, so yeah, so I had that on my mind the rest of the time. So I don't know. The DFAM is just plain amazing, and there's some people that don't understand it yet, and I don't really expect anyone to end up understanding the DFAM. It's just you'll know if you have it that it's just that it's crazy fun and crazy exploratory as far as just the possibilities are wide compared to other things that you might get to make sound with for any reason. Um, so all drums aside. So, and on that note, okay, there's been a lot of drum machines. I mean, there's besides the Minibrute 2 and 2S, the the drum the Drumbrute, the Arturia Drumbrute put out the Impact, and it had some improvements, and that FM drum is really amazing. So I think that's really cool, and possibly as cool or cooler than the original Drumbrute were it not for the orange. It's kind of like with the System 1. It's like it would be really cool were it not for would it, if I could just like cut those lights, get back there and cut those lights, I might do that. No, I don't mind them that much, but I've owned it enough to love it, and so I don't care. It's kind of like a relationship. But hey, I got it in the first place. I hedged my bets on it because I saw through that to how much more it was than other things, than other synthesizers out there. But anyway, not enough about that. The TR-8S is the other thing, and that is quite possibly the ultimate drum machine in the classic sense, in terms of there were drum machines, let there be drum machines, and then that was back then, and now there's the TRS or the TR-8S, and it got it right, whereas the TR-8 almost did. And that's another one of those things. It's like the green pinstripes around it. Anything that dates it, don't do it. Companies, anything that dates it, just don't do it, because just think ahead. Just think further. Even though I mean, the kids will still buy your stuff. They don't need the special gimmicks. So yeah, so there's all those. As far as other like synthesizers go, there's a lot of them. The Neutron came out, as well as the Model D, but and the Neutron is really kind of revolutionary to a lot of people, and a lot of people really love it. The thing is, I like everything about what it is. What I don't want everybody to go around just assuming is that it has a unique sound all to itself, other than compared to other synthesizers, because um, the thing is, I've I've seen a lot of it, and from beginning to end, I've always had in mind, okay, can I hear anything different than what I do on the System 1M, and that's no. But like nobody else has or talks about a System 1M that I have seen or know about. And so like they're not coming from a background of like having a synth that can do those very same things. I don't know. You do everything totally different on the Neutron, and that's what makes it special, is like the interface is like a synthesizer should be. It's perfect, except for maybe the color of the faceplate or whatever, depending on who you are. But like, but as far as the sound goes, yeah, it's another Dreadbox synth, and you wouldn't say it's so unique from everything else if people weren't just saying it all the time. Um, on the heels of the Model D, which sounded like the Model D. See, it's just A equaled B. Uh, anyway, that's my thoughts on it, and that's probably going to be unpopular thoughts. Speaking of unpopular thoughts, um, I could do a spinning wheel. Yeah, Ranjams does a spinning wheel. I love it. I love that sort of thing. I would do a real one in here. Yeah, totally, because it would be easier for me to wrap my head around and just do. But yeah, okay. Anyway, so speaking of unpopular opinions, the Medusa. Um, well, maybe it's not an unpopular. I don't know. The Medusa. The thing is, there might be a lot of people going around and saying stupid things about it and clowning around and being trolls about why the Medusa sucks, right? But the fact is that can't be addressed any other way is the sound, is what it sounds like. When somebody says, I don't know about the sound of it, I don't like the sound of it, I don't dig the sound of it, you know, the fact is there is something to that. And there definitely is something to that when it comes to the Medusa. And to me, it's just this glaring, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that, because it's this big synthesizer with these other, with these oscillators, right? That you'd think you could make a more refined sound out of than like a pocket operator. But the thing is, it's got this low resolution sound in the upper registers of like of like all the oscillators. It seems like it's not just coming out of the digital, but like it has low resolution noise, like it's 8-bit or crushed, and like people are like, "Oh, that's cool. It's cool." Well, yeah, it might be cool to you. You might like it, and that I wouldn't disagree with you on that. But the fact is, it's there, and you can hear it. This sort of like lack of resolution, this sort of non-refinement of like, it's like I like digital synths. I like the way the Korg Minilogue sounds, and it does not sound crushed just out of the box like that up at the higher frequencies and the noise and stuff like that. And as far as the bass goes, I can't tell as much of anything that I dislike about, but like, yeah, it's glaring. Parts of the sound are really glaring. I don't like it. So, but that's all subjective, right? It's just my ears that I'm talking about. But yeah, people who want to just keep on arguing, with the people who are arguing, well, the people who are saying they don't like the sound, well, if there's enough people who are saying that, then maybe there is something to it. I don't know, right? I feel that way personally, without anybody saying anything. Before anybody said anything, that was my idea. And then I watched all the videos, and it's the same thing. But I'll get off of it because if I'm saying bad things about a synth, I'll probably, it's just not gonna do me any good, that for sure. But yeah. So the Model D, I already said. I don't need to say anything about it. Actually, yeah, it seems just really great. It has the tuning issues that the original did. Not any worse. It's not too hard to mess with that way, apparently, if it has issues that way, and later ones didn't. So it's a Model D. Um, I don't have any connection to that because I just got into synths. Although the Model D is, yeah, sound wise, it's one of the most beautiful things that I've heard. Um, True. but how does it fit into me? I don't know. So it doesn't. And so the OPZ or the OPZ. Um, the thing about it is it's just really amazing, especially because it's got a DMX sequencer just right on it. It's just really easy to sequence lights to your music um, in ways that you can control more, which is great. Um, and uh, and so that has a lot of implications that way. And the other thing about it is it's not something that you compared with the OP1. The OPZ is not comparable to the OP1. It should have been called a POZ, because it's the extreme pocket operator. It's a pocket operator. It's just a little bit bigger. It's that much longer pocket operator, and it has 16 tracks. And it has all these other things like you can plug into your phone and you get screen stuff to do. That's cool, right? But the thing is, um, it's it's more like a pocket operator. So people should think of it that way. And then when you do, you just really enjoy it. And you don't think just like you don't just keep the skepticism of being stuck in having to compare it with the OP1 in your mind, because it wasn't, you know, it's just not. Um, yeah, the Digitone, the Digitone came out this last year, and it um, really uh, it especially is something that I'm interested in, because I am interested in working with sine waves and working in a very basic level with sine waves. And you can do that with the Digitone in a way that maybe you can't with other FM synthesis that is about creating complex things. Um, yeah, I want to work with sine waves and create a lot of things that are therapeutic, having to do with the frequencies, and find those frequencies that are more therapeutic or less, or what they do and how, and that's a big part of what I'm doing. The thing is, I like synthesizers because not because of synthesizers, but because of synthesis, because of controlled voltage. I am really excited about controlling voltage in various ways, and on the computer, it's the same thing. It's controlling an amount of voltage. You're doing it digitally; it's the same thing, and I love that too. But that's the concept that I'm getting at. And with CV, and when you're working with CV, you're working just straight with controlled voltage, and you're working with something that you can choose. I'm doing this to this, I'm doing that to that, I'm doing that to that. The rules of the world are simpler, and you can go from square one and just do what you want. And I like that a lot more than a DAW recording environment. I do. And if I could find that in the box too, which some things are kind of getting that way, like Reason has always kind of been that way, yet it has cable in front sort of things. And then there's VC Rack that gives you like really kind of like in a way more options than real Eurorack, because of how much and how easy you can do everything. Not me, because of my CPU. I'm stuck to pretty much a 6U 84p system on VCV rack, or else my CPU just clicks and pops and stuff. So, but yeah, I've already talked about that. So yeah, the Digitone is revolutionary, and I think maybe the best FM synth to exist so far, because it did the job of paring down those different parameters to from what Yamaha did to down to parameters that actually mean something, and will and you can do something with, making it more like an instrument. Yeah. I mean, workstation synths, big workstation synths. Okay. Um, I just got uh, a Roland XP60 for free, because somebody just tossed it in the trash. And I had to open it up and clean it up a little bit, and now it's working. Although some of the keys don't go back up when you push them down on the higher register up there. And it has It has a broken key, kind of like me. It looks just like me. It's like totally for me. But um, the screen still works. It's got some ink around the edges, but it doesn't get in the way of the info that you're looking at. And and the disk drive doesn't work. I couldn't get that working. But apart from that, um, wow, those sounds. I've only gone through 200 of them so far, but amazing. And the keybed actually feels nice, the keys at work. So, I don't know. Should I keep it? Should it be my Can something like that, an old workstation synth, the things that I've hated or the things that made me not interested in synthesizers all my life up until now, which makes me hate it. do can I do multiple channels of MIDI out at the same time from that and have that be my brain for my synthesizers? Because it's got the DIN outs and I don't know, but I mean, I've gone through what's his name's old videos, old Roland videos online about it, but I think the answer is no. But what you can do on it is really great. Uh, like four sounds to make up you know a four layered sound. Pretty much that's what all the patches are sounds consisting of four different layers of synthesizer, which is cool. They don't do much specialer than that these days. The Mo DX and the Prophet X, they can go a little farther than that, but yeah, I guess they did amazing things in the 80s back then too. It's just the interface just keeps you from it, doesn't it? So, yeah. So then there's the Prologue, and I already kind of talked about the Prologue. Awesome. Awesome. Digitone and OPZ, Lloyd Robenflex is going to do for his first jam. Awesome. Yes. Yeah, those will go really great together. Like really fun sounds coming out of both of them. Or if fun is what you're going to do. Of course, you don't have to do fun, but you often do. So yeah, that's cool. The Prologue for me, yeah, I already talked about it. I just don't understand the choices. Um, but the look is perfect. Like I would say, like that's perfect. You know, I don't know. So the new Minilogue XD, I would say that's perfect because it's four voices. It's probably going to be cheaper, and that's what people really need. And hey, but hey, couldn't you made it eight voices for like cheap and just kept it at that form factor? And like, why wouldn't you do that? And if you did that with the Prologue and just made it like look like a big beast, and you made it that expensive, I don't know. I'm kind of suspicious now. No, I know you didn't. See, I looked more into that, and there's a lot of things that cost a lot, like the compressor and stuff like that. But anyway, I just don't know what to think about it yet. Maybe people can help me out on that. I am not the authority on Korg stuff. Although I'm surrounded by people on Simply Synth that love the Korg stuff and talk about it all the time, especially the monologue. Yeah, they're not just electron nuts over there. Um, we're nuts for everything. We're nuts for everything. I'm not nuts for the Uno synth because I was a kid in the 80s, so those buttons. I mean, even just to look at, I know they'll feel different, but I mean, don't do that. Please don't do that. Anyway, so I think the Skulpt looks really nice in comparison. So I think the Skulpt I would go for over the Uno or the Uno. I kept reminding people at first, and now I'm just like screw it. I'll just say Uno too, since everybody's saying Uno, even though that's wrong because the company says Uno synth. Anyway. It's kind of like Moog. I just watched Marshall Arnold's stream this morning, a big long stream, a really good one with two other guests, and they talked about what they thought about all this stuff, and and yeah, the running theme was mispronouncing everything. It's all right. Yeah, so that's about all that I had to say uh, about all that stuff. What's what's coming up? Um, yeah, you started with Korg. Yeah, I almost did. Um, I would have uh, looked more at. No, see, that's the thing about the Minilogue. To me, it was the keys on the Minilogue, and why I had to have a Minibrute instead of a Minilogue is, is because of the full size keys, and because I needed just one thing. I just wanted one thing to be my keys for all the synthesizers. Just switch, 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 switch. And I can do that by putting that into the brain, and then the brain MIDI out to everything else. It's the easiest way to do your stuff. But yeah. But the question is which MIDI brain, and this is how we go into sequencer wars here. It's been going on for a very long time for me. Okay, so the top contenders are still the Deluge, the Synthstrom Deluge, and the Novation SL Mark III. And the Polyend SEC. And the pyramid, I mean the Squarp pyramid, or the Squarp Hermod. But yeah, okay, so behind me, I haven't answered this in the past, and I should have, because I didn't notice or past live streams when I didn't notice somebody asking. But yeah, behind me here this is the System 1M. So it's the Roland System 1 synthesizer. And then here, this is my compressor. It's the Art VLA compressor. The Art Pro VLA 2. And this 1U thing right here is an 8-channel stereo, 8 channels of stereo, so 8 stereo channels line mixer. So it has no channel strip or anything like that, no EQ or anything. It's just plain panning, and it has one send and return on it for everything, which I haven't used yet. I don't have any pedals or anything like that. But along those lines, coming up this year's pedal or effects unit or anything like that to look for and look after and to get it would be the Hypnosis by Dreadbox. The Dreadbox Hypnosis is going to come out this year, and it is amazing, and it is exactly what your Minibrute needs. And it's exactly what your Matrix Brute needs, and it's exactly anything else that needs any kind of effects. Like, that is it. The the Dreadbox Hypnosis. It's coming up. It's amazing. There's only a couple pictures of it and a video up right now. Yeah, Keystep, but it's kind of a waste on your rack. Yeah, the Keystep is amazing. Yeah, that was one of those things for getting my one key bed. It might have been a Keystep, but as it turned out, like, yeah, that just like really good feeling full size keys, and it was cheap, like really cheap. It was right when the Minibrute 2 was coming out, and so the Minibrute 1s went down in price because the sellers got scared. Quite honestly, they didn't realize that the price should go up. So during that period of time, they don't realize that, or they do, but that's the thing. They always hedge their bets that way. It's funny. Marketing is just a really interesting thing to watch in this realm. Um, and I got my finger on the ribbon, the ribbon controller. Oh yeah. Okay. Enough of that. Yeah. So okay. So sequencer wars. Back to that. Back to sequencer wars. This is going to go on for a little while, but I think somebody's won. And the last thing that I said is that somebody won, and it wasn't the thing that I'm saying right now. So, um, unlike last week, when I was really sure who won the sequencer wars, which was the Squarp pyramid, because it's just better than everything else, and as a sequencer, and is just a sequencer, right? Okay, but the UI actually works in such a way. See, I was working with the circuit enough these past couple weeks to realize that not only do I not want to go across sessions, right, for going across sessions um, during a live performance, which is what I would do with the SL Mark III. So I don't want to do that. That's straight out now. I don't like going across sessions. I'm sorry. I wanted to get better at it, right? No, actually, you don't want to do that. You don't want that as a limitation. You don't want to have to, after 16 bars or 32 bars or whatever, go like that on a thing right then. Instead, you want to be actually playing the instruments at the times where you need to be playing the instruments. That needs to happen in the moment. And session changing takes away from that. So yeah, it's meant to be live. Yeah, for certain things, for certain kinds of music, and I want to make all these other kinds of music, and so as a brain, it needs to not be able to do that. So yeah, the Squarp pyramid takes all those boxes. So does the Deluge, but the Deluge, okay, it's so much more. It's so much more that you don't need all these synthesizers, right? So then what do you end up doing? You end up just using the Deluge and going, having all your sounds on the Deluge. And if I don't know, and if you don't, then what do you have it for? It's really good as an interface in a way, um, but the thing is, I just want a sequencer. So what won the sequencer wars for me at this moment, even though it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen even within the next 6 months or anything like that. But I've I've prepared for it already. I'm ready, but I'm still waiting. The thing is, it's going to be the Polyend SEC. The Polyend SEC. Hey J Rod, how's it going? The Polyend SEC it's just a work of art, and it's a work of art in terms of the elegance of what a sequencer should be. It's elegant. It's simple. It's right. Everything about it is right. And not for polyphonic sequencing, but guess what? Polyphonic sequencing, they haven't been the bestest of friends. The bestest of friends has been the sequencing of single notes at a time. Monophonic sequencing is what sequencing is all about. When you get to polyphonic, it's about playing. Um, and yeah, you can sequence as much as you want with as much of polyphony as you want. But the thing is, like, and see, and it's just there's also other things about the Polyend sec that don't limit it to that either. The ways of having polyphony on each track and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, as far as the UI goes, it's pretty much meant for a note per track, right? And that presents a clear way of working, I think. I know, I shouldn't overlook the Deluge. I'm totally in love, and I'm just like my fingers on the button for the Deluge. But it's just like for sequencing my Eurorack, yeah. Um, the thing is, what I was thinking about the Squarp and the Deluge could too, technically, is do 8 tracks of Eurorack voices, and also do on the side of that the other synthesizers, a couple of which would be polyphonic. Like the System 1M can do is 4-note um, polyphony, and the Peak, if I were to get something like that, would be 8 notes. And so if I got the Polyend SEC, I'm realizing uh, also that alongside that, I'd have to have something else if I were to sequence beforehand the 8-note polyphony uh, synthesizers. Hey, Simon. Hey, Darren. Simon the Magpie's here. Darren T. House is here in the house. Good to see y'all. I've already talked about all the synthesizers of this year, actually, so you'll have to go back if you want. But I'm talking about the sequencer wars right now. I mean, it's just like nothing's ever been right, and nothing's right still in the market. There just needs to be so much more ideas about how things. I don't know, more ideas or maybe less ideas, and more people should just be able to be putting out more products that. But I don't know. Maybe there's too much choice. The Deluge is amazing. It really is, and it's like really. But when you're playing it, I don't know. It just makes you want to go out and play it on its own. It makes you want to play it on its own, right? Which is great, but I just want a brain, and I don't want to think too much with that brain. So I want the Polyend SEC, or I want what I wanted was an Oberkorn or something like that, right? And I still kind of want 2 Oberkorns, you know? Yeah, yeah, you're right. I can control all the synths with it. I know, I know, I know. So that's why this is still going. This is going to be going down for a while. I don't know, the Deluge versus everything else, because it really is that good, but nobody really wants to talk about it that much or admit it or think it's for them. But I'm right there on. I've been there right there on the edge for well over a year now, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on it. Um, I think even before I got the circuit, I knew about it, and maybe not. Yeah, I think so. Like synthesizers are actually easy to think about in comparison, really easy in comparison to sequencers, because like the sequencer is how you work. It's your workflow. It is your workflow, and what's everything? Your workflow is everything, right? I'm scattered. I'm always going to come out with new stuff, different things, and try new things, and try different things, and do different things, and all that stuff. But that's kind of um, of because I'm learning everything. But like I want to settle down into something sustainable, some machine that stays the way it is, like all together with all my synthesizers. They call it a studio, I think. I don't have a studio yet. I don't really have a studio. Yes, I do. I have a Frankenstein studio. Yeah, it's not cheap. You have to just sell your. I'm gonna sell my leg is gonna not last forever anyway. My bad leg. Live is so much more difficult than studio work. Yeah. Yeah, so that gets to be the thing too, is like I could use a Circlon or something like that if it came to just studio work, li- but live, that means performing on it, right? Yeah, and I have 2 kidneys too, so that could work. No. No, uh yeah, it just won't happen for a long time. That's the thing is, like, I'm gonna be talking about this for the next 6 months, but I'm gonna try not to talk about it. This'll be, like, the time that I'm talking about it because I changed my mind again. But if I talk about it again, it'll be because I changed my mind again. If I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna go for it, and you won't hear about it again. But, like, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. It's just like, why aren't there, just a million sequencers out there that do 16 tracks or more? It's a digital thing, you know? You know, MIDI MIDI can take it. So how expensive is it to actually do that in terms of circuits? To expand something like that, kinda like expanding voices, kinda like, how much more money would it take to expand the Minilog's voices to 8 and just keep it a Minilog? Would it take more space? Would it be bigger? Or why can't you just do that? Why can't you just have it have that much polyphony? I don't know, I guess because there's 4 oscillators in the Minilog, right? But that's the thing, digitally. They did so much polyphony in the '80s, it's like, is everyone just kinda, like, hip to the fact that you don't need that many voices now? But the fact is, what about making a whole track? I want more than 16 voices to make a whole track. Wonder about the Simon says, "I wonder about the OPZ when dropping modules." It's all CPU. Yeah, it's all CPU at this point. So, that's the thing, it's all cheap to produce. So why is the Prologue sitting over there, like, what I don't know, and the voice difference, when you have a price difference for a voice difference in a synth, see, like, the DeepMind 6 and the DeepMind 12, see, that is reality. The fact is, it doesn't have to be that much more expensive just to add more voices. I mean, it's a thing, especially if it's analog, but, like, yeah. So the Moog 1 has, like, 48 oscillators in it. Uh, is that necessary? Why would I even ask that? The Moog 1 isn't necessary itself in and of itself, so, uh, but it's cool. It's really cool. Does that help? Um, Look Mum No Computer, Sam did, that's one of the first things when I got, subscribed to his channel and started supporting what he was doing. It was before he made the, 100 oscillator synth. And yeah, I don't think it makes things sound that much greater. Yeah. Yeah. It's true, nothing is necessary, and that's I was like on on YouTube, there's a lot of, "This is necessary." And in, synthesizer companies, there's a lot of, "This is necessary." And people who, talk about synths and want things from synthesizer companies, certain things are necessary, and without that, the synth sucks. But hey, Noir, awesome. Good to see you here. You've been an awesome inspiration to me. Uh, and I've gotten into Eurorack too lately, so yeah. I hope that's going well for you. Arturia is spending all their resources to 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 shut shut. Oh yeah, send stuff to YouTubers. Yeah. Yeah, that I think that's pretty cool. Actually, the thing is, you just when something like that happens, that's a question of YouTube. That's not a question for Arturia really, because like I think Arturia, the answer to that is Arturia really, and everybody else should be using independent marketers as much as possible, because hey, real people like everybody else needs money, and more people with money and more marketers all at the same time is great, because then that's more, I don't know. But that's if you've got a side business or something like that, or if you're making it on your YouTube channel. And you can't really do that without being savvy and like really actually making your money somewhere else and having a product somewhere else. It's not very sustainable, right? Uh, it's hard to do, just to be a dude who loves synths who's not selling anything, uh, it's tough just to be a personality, and you're like, okay, how far is this gonna go? And but the thing about getting stuff is I'm no stranger to getting sponsored and getting free stuff for what you for just being there, because I lived and worked up on a ski resort for 5 years, and I pretty quickly I got as good as somebody gets at snowboarding. And you do if you just go up every day and it's free for you every day because you work there. I live and work there. I highly recommend it for anybody, because I don't recommend ever trying to like pay to go skiing or snowboarding, because wow, you'd have to be rich, and enough to get good at it. But anyway, point is, I got a bunch of free stuff just for being there on the mountain and just for snowboarding a lot. And I always got all this free stuff, and it was awesome. And I got my pick of stuff out of catalogs and stuff. It was awesome. Um, but I never had any real impact on them, the company, and they never really had any real even contact with me. But um, but hey, yeah, I had fun. So I think that's all good. And I didn't even end up really. I don't think I ended up advertising for them for it. It's like it's almost like they don't care about that. Is like they have a certain amount of units that just need to go out to people, and then the ski resorts pick the people. It's like, all right, it's just incentive, whatever. It's like totally disconnected from anything. I didn't do any advertising for Burton, but I had a $900 Burton fish. It's just the most amazing board ever, and all sorts of other gear too, and all sorts of things that didn't have to do with skiing too, because of conventions that were up there. I got lots of free stuff. It was a fun life, but you go there for the life, not for the money. You can't really get anywhere being up there in your life. It's where to go to escape life, and everybody's escaping the flatland by being at ski resorts. What was I talking about? Yeah, influencer marketing. Man, I'm listening to like I'm watching YouTube. I'm watching these business gurus, right? Talk about how to make it and stuff and what not to do, and they're all getting on the bandwagon of telling everybody, don't don't try to make it on YouTube or Instagram, because like that's all BS and it's not worth anything and it's meaningless, and I did it and blah blah blah. But but they're right. The fact is, for anybody who's just sitting there watching YouTube, the idea is you got to get to work, and that's what makes things happen. And you got to actually run your business and have your product and make your product and put all your time into your product, whatever that is. And I'm not going to tie anything to Mr. Basic, to this online persona at this point. And I don't have any plans on putting out a product as Mr. Basic at this point in time. But if I do, maybe I'll get on Bandcamp and put out some music or something. I don't know, but that's not going to happen for next year, the year after that. I don't even think. But I'll be here forever, and I'll be just trying to gain a community, just friends, not fans. I don't want fans. I just want friends, and I want all you guys to be my friends. And yeah, totally. Noir, J Rod, Simon, all you guys are awesome. I'm wondering where's Inky, where's I Will Create, where's Adamski right now, man. Those are my crew from my previous weeks too. um, you guys are awesome. I think it's wound down to like snowboarding and stuff like that. Uh, 15 minutes to 2019 here. Yeah, I'll just cut it off because I don't want to ruin your New Year's by it not really being down to midnight here. You guys can go do whatever you want. Oh man, at work that sucks. Yeah, my job isn't really glamorous, but I get vacations. I get time throughout the year off while getting my paychecks, spread out across that time. Uh, for my budget purposes, and that's really awesome. I like that. So I get summers and Christmas and holidays. Anytime kids aren't in school, I'm not. That's awesome. Uh, but yeah, there's a lot of other reasons I love my job too. Uh, but yeah, but I like the idea of starting online things too. Everybody should kind of like think about that because that's the world we live in right now. You have to connect with people. You have to spend your time connecting with people and doing everything if you want to make it online in business and stuff like that. Um, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. The thing is, I was thinking about Instagram. I watched a couple videos about like there's been related videos in YouTube about Instagram and like Instagram influencers and stuff. So I checked on and I like this girl Jade, and this one other guy that does music production, Adam Ivy. I like him. Um, and he just got kind of successful on Instagram, and he talks about how we should all do that too. Um, yeah, but I never have ever taken pictures of myself, so it's probably not going to be the thing for me. I could take pictures of gear, and I don't know, I could get into it, but it's like taking selfies. It's not the thing for me. I don't know. Yeah. So, but the thing is, okay, to if you wanna if you wanna be successful in music, yeah, it's not gonna be related to the YouTube. That's one thing that's a big deal that people are kinda, like, realizing. Um, but yeah, Cuckoo just liked one of my videos on Instagram. Cool. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have I don't have a lot of subscribers or viewers, but I have the right people as viewers. Like, uh I have the kind of people that I'd want as subscribers. I want, you know, so you guys get it. A lot of really cool, uh, important, and awesome and wonderful musicians and synth designers and people like that. All sorts of people are subscribed to me who are really cool. And it's like, wow, I'm part of the world. And I didn't even have to do anything except just kind of just start making videos online. I don't know. I think I like this sort of thing. Um, so I'm going to keep on doing a live stream every Monday whenever I can. Yeah, I like Simon. He's cool. Yep. I like all the Simons, and I like you. I met you first, Simon the Magpie. Yeah. And I supported Simon the Magpie on Patreon when he was doing that. So yeah. Um, until I got all mad about some issue or something, I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, I remember. The thing is, yeah, and Carl Mikel, I stopped supporting him because of some issue, something he said on a video too. So that's the thing is like we kind of run the risk of like when people are no, what I run the risk of just getting too butthurt about things, just getting too. I don't know. I just got online, sort of. I'm still in the process of like, uh, wrapping my head around like, okay, things people do on YouTube. How do we really feel? How do we really like big picture? Look at all of this. If somebody says something on YouTube, if people comment on YouTube, you know, uh, I'm so glad that I'm not like totally into like notification on social media about like issues and stuff like that from people. That I'm not on Facebook, that I'm not on Instagram, just like into things that are going to get me all uppity and get me all into some kind of storm or like make me all politically, passionate about something. Because the thing is, yeah, you can do that as much as you want, but whatever you do, you gotta focus yourself, or else on and having to do with your own life, and what you can do, or else you're not gonna. It's not gonna be for anything that you care about. All this stuff. uh, I didn't expect to say any kind of speech like that. Um, Patreon. How do I even do that? I, I don't know. What could I do that would have enough value that I should. The thing is, I'm working on the definitive Platts tutorial here. Of course, I don't need to show it to you, but I've written down a lot so far, just on the basic functions before I get into all 16 of the modes. And I'm thinking of making a video per mode of the Platts module. There aren't any videos on Platts except for Div Kids, and so yeah, so I'm really going to start getting serious about that, and I might even use my better camera, my Yi 4K action camera, because I think it might have better resolution and be a better choice uh, for showing the tutorial. It actually has fisheye correction in it, unlike other things like maybe some of the GoPros don't. But anyway, yeah. So Noir, you aren't on Patreon? I thought he was. I thought you were. You need, yeah, no, I thought you were joking. Yeah, you need to do Patreon, because I mean, if you're not already like, because you're not going to make money from ad revenue, right? You already, we all know that. But like, you can really make it, I think, there's a lot of different things you can do to reward people on Patreon and like get Patreon following, not just from YouTube either, but from other platforms. I like the idea of maybe one thing I could do now, even though I'm not really good at the content that I make right now, and I don't think I'm really going to impress people with my music on a consistent level at this point in time, because I don't know how much time I'm going to have, if any, on all this stuff, except for maybe the live stream every week. But so the thing is like uh, uh, one-on-one consultations might be a good thing to do for a reward, because you could get a lot of people wanting it, just want advice to, one question, and they've given you your pledge for the month. And I don't know. Um, I could do consultations with people about things that I do know about, but I'd want to specialize, right? And what do you specialize in? What are you specialized in, Simon? What are you specialized in, Noir? Like I could say Noir is you know uh, playing keyboard, being a keyboardist, playing Moogs and other things, but I like the Moogs the best. And now modular. He's a modular guru, or potential to keep on being a modular guru if you want to, if you're going to keep doing that, Noir. But and then Simon. But see, like, is that a long sentence? That's a long sentence. I don't know. But you also like, I guess, just overall gear reviewer. Could you just be a gear reviewer? And but then that's the thing about Patreon, is like you get, it's more than a review. You give tutorials. But yeah, so Noir can do tutorials. I know you do great tutorials so far, and Simon does great tutorials. That I well, the thing is, when I started watching Simon the Magpie because of um, the Critter and Guitari stuff, and that was tutorials to me, because you're the only one who sat down and fiddled with it and showed, you know. and then maybe after that, I saw Cuckoo and his videos, probably because of that. So it probably went Andrew, Simon, Cuckoo, Bo. Gaz. I love Gaz. He's my favorite. Yeah, your real music is on Bandcamp. Yeah, so you're a musician, right? Right. Right? What am I? I don't know. Who am I? 24601. Um, yeah. Why correct the fisheye? Adds nice curves to my booty. Yeah, I don't know about the whole, like, okay, do you have a is this a hobby? Is this a hobby for you? Or is this a hustle? Or is it a business? Is this a business? Are you treating it like a business if you're calling it a business? Or is it just a hobby? Or is it always going to be a hobby? Are you going to turn it into a bit? It's always a hobby that you're going to try to turn into a business, right? Or are you? Who am I talking to? I'm talking to anyone out there, not particularly you guys in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, Simon the Magpie says, I provide everything I do for free and focus on the community. So it's no expectations. I have alcohol for that. Yeah, absolutely. Same here, except without the alcohol part. You know, I have other things. Other things. What could it be? Those other things. Not going to show it on camera because I don't want to be one of those guys. Like the live stream I just saw earlier this morning, but I'm a dad, so maybe after that, after she's grown, I'll think about showing more on YouTube, and embarrassing myself more on YouTube after she's like grown and stuff into an adult and stuff. I'll still be here. So yeah, subscribe. Yeah. Yeah. So anyone watching afterwards, who uh, who isn't already subscribed to me, the thing would be to subscribe, because then you can come on, I can talk to you and we can talk, and I can meet you for the first time and then go to your channel and then see what's cool and all that. I have something like, full disclosure, I have something like 500 and something subscriptions to people on YouTube. 500 and some odd. Out of those, probably a third I've rung the bell on. So I get a lot of notifications every day, and I try to watch it all. So I don't get a lot of fluffy YouTube from other places and other people. It's because I have a lot of subscribers. But if you come on here, then you can be a part of community, and I'll shout you out, and yeah, because I'm actually I'm a sort of parasite. I'm a community parasite at this point, but pretty much everything's going to grow just bigger and bigger and bigger, and more is going to grow around me as well, and around all of us. And yeah, we should all be optimistic about that, because it actually is just cold hard facts. This is the way the world is right now, and these things are growing, and these things are happening. You either be a part of it or die. That's what kind of like keeps me going every day, is this idea of mortality, of like, I don't have that much time. None of us do. Then it's all gone forever. So do it. Okay. I checked out your orbital vid of like the teaser that it's coming up, but I haven't. No, I haven't checked out any vids since then. So since 2 weeks ago. So yeah. So I'm going to. And I noticed that you posted something that had something to do with orbital. And that's the thing is I go down, when I go to YouTube, I go to my subscriptions page and I go down the list of the last, the last 2 weeks, last week. And then that's the thing is like, I'm missing them. I'm missing things, man. So I already feel bad. But so basically, I got to pare some things down. I got to take the Explore Oceans channel off of there because they take up a lot of like videos because they go live every day, and so it's like just has this big block of videos in my subscriptions list. But anyway, yeah, get to them. I will. The first thing I do after I am done with this live stream is the next thing I watch will be on Darren T. House's channel. I was going to say station. Channel. We should all do podcasts. This is a podcast because I have a microphone. How's it going? I have a podcast. Is that how it works? I don't know much about podcasts. I kind of like skipped that whole revolution. Did it happen? It's like after the 90s, right? Anything that happened after the 90s. I was in the woods surviving, snowboarding. I was a hippie. I've been a hippie all my life. So I'm into ambient soundscapes and noise. And what I'm not into is big know-it-all producers who I really actually loved. I loved a lot of his videos. Some dude, Rick Bureau or Potato. No, actually, I'm specifically not naming him exactly, but this big name older producer guy who tells it like it is about recording and is like and like teaches about different types of compression and stuff like that and also about music and stuff like that. Anyway, he has a bit of an attitude. I already knew that, but he posted this video on how basically postmodernism in music is the worst thing ever, it sucks or whatever. And basically, his point was, besides the fact that he didn't know what postmodernism was in the first place, and then he goes and he says that this totally off thing that doesn't even refer to postmodernism. He needs to go back to school. He just too much ego, too full of yourself as a what you are. We all maybe have to pay attention to this, but apart from not knowing what postmodernism even was, and maybe a problem with some kind of like thing going around about what other videos that just, but what he was talking about basically is just the age old argument that there's a lot of kids out there making music without having learned music theory, and they suck, and their music actually sucks, and I don't actually like it, and I don't buy it, right? Because they didn't learn music theory like I did. And so basically this whole video, what it actually was a lead up to him showing off his new piano piece that he composed, where he stays in key all the time except for off key a little bit here, off key a little bit there, off key a little bit there. Oh, see, I'm traipsing off, but I know what I'm doing first, right? It was crap. I'm sorry, it was just boring. Like, and the thing that was wrong about it is that it wasn't just music; it was awkward because I could actually like, I noticed him trying to not be perfect. Like, he pointed it out beforehand in the video so that I would then like hear that in it, even, which was a mistake. Not to just play the piece first and then start your rant about postmodernism and how your piece is better than everybody who didn't learn music theory yet or classically or whatever. And here's the thing is, I have hours and hours worth to say on the topic of this crap, right? But where I come from is is the fact that when I use chords and chord progressions, all the wonderful chord progressions I know, I'm playing cheap tricks and I know it. Like, you're gonna love my music, but what I know is the real reason you love my music is the same reason you love all that other music is because that chord progression made you feel a certain way, just like it made me feel a certain way. This is why I wanted to make that song and give it to you. So it wasn't me, it was the chord progression. It's dirty tricks, right? Okay. So that's extreme, right? But take that as a thought, just as a hypothetical, right? The fact is, there's a lot of times where I don't feel good about making music because of knowing theory and using it. Knowing the theory, like learning something in theory and then I use it, I feel cheap because there's so much, because music is free. It's not a thing, it doesn't exist within our Western scale. Music isn't that. That's somebody's idea. And it sounds good to us because our ears are familiar with the Western scale. If they're familiar with another scale, it sounds better to them. That's the way it works. And that's the way it works with rhythm too. If you like certain rhythms or a certain amount of rhythm, it's because you do. You know, if it doesn't have rhythm, it's not inherently worse. We're talking about the natural world here. This is reality. Not your social construct. So get off your social constructs, get off your ego about the music theory that you know as a big producer who has a voice on YouTube, and just check yourself a little bit. All right. So that was my rant. Wow, I did a good rant that I feel good about. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave you guys all happy New Year, everybody. I know it's New Year for a lot of you guys. Yeah. Yeah, hippies are cool, actually. Teepees, traveling festivals, and drunk. Yes, we should all live in teepees. I really believe that. I do. I believe that we should all live in teepees. No. Yeah, you know that reference though. It's the movie Mars Attacks. Universal sign of the donut. But yeah, happy New Year. Oh man, I'm so glad you showed up. That's great. That's great that you watched something of mine. I really look forward to watching more of your videos. Don't get too stressed out about it if you got other things to do in your life. But I really enjoy your videos, Noir at Blanc V. He's the best. But everybody knows that. So yeah, everybody have a wonderful New Year, and I'm gonna sign off. An hour and a half. Yay!